We're making a delicious raw dessert called Almond Joy. And it is made from 2 cups of raw organic almonds. Make sure they're raw, not roasted, and ideally organic. 1 cup of shredded coconut, raw coconut. Half a cup of medjool dates. This is 1/8 of a cup of soy lecithin. Put that right into this food processor, and then we're going to just mix everything together. And then we have a 1/4 cup of agave cactus syrup. Okay, and last but not least, a teaspoon of almond extract. And we're going to put in about 1/2 cup of carob chips, but I'm going to wait until I mix this and put the carob chips in last so they don't get ground up into the mixture. So we have everything here, and we're just going to pulse until everything is mixed up well. And last, we're going to put in our 1/2 cup of carob chips. Slightly mix, and we're done. And then what we're going to do, first of all, we've got to make sure our hands have been washed using unscented soap. Take off our jewelry, because we're going to use our hands now. And we're going to make our little almond joys. You take a handful, and you're going to make into a little log. And I have here a little piece of garnish. Okay, and a serving is probably about 2. People love these. Now, it's a raw dessert. However, when you add carob chips, which are processed, it makes it not a raw dessert. But it's still nonetheless a healthy and a delicious dessert. And there we go. Today we are making one of our customer favorites, barbecue tofu. Now, as you all may know, there's a lot of different varieties of tofu. There is silken tofu, there is soft tofu, there's firm tofu, there's extra firm, and then there's super firm. I prefer super firm, but particularly when it's being mixed into another dish. Now, this tofu cut into 1-inch cubes is super firm tofu. It is unseasoned. And just for a moment, there's a lot of discussion about soy and about tofu. We're going to have a lot more information on our website. However, this is a very high protein dish. When combined with rice or with vegetables, a carbohydrate, it makes a perfect meal. And we're going to put approximately 2 tablespoons of oil into a pan. Now, I have an eye for the measurements, but use your tablespoon and your measuring equipment when you do this. So we have about 2 tablespoons of oil. We're going to turn our flame up to high, and put the uncooked tofu into the pan. Put it all in there. And on high heat, you stir it so we brown approximately 5 minutes over high heat our tofu. Now, this can also be baked. You can cut this a little bit smaller, and you can put it in the oven and bake it at about 350 so you don't have the same amount of oil content. This can be used for appetizer, it can be used as a dinner meal, or it can just be used as a snack. So we continue to brown our tofu till it's a very nice golden brown. It'll shrink slightly from the heat. And then what we're going to do is add a cup of barbecue sauce. Pour it over the tofu. Get a nice little sizzle going there. And you can reduce the heat on your pan slightly. Saute it a little bit. Now, the barbecue sauce is a homemade barbecue sauce, which you'll find on our website. But you can use any barbecue sauce as long as it doesn't contain chemicals or high fructose corn syrup, which you'll find in a lot of barbecue sauces. Now we're going to put this into our plate with a slotted spoon so you don't have a lot of sauce. Turn our oven off, stove off. And again, be conscious of your serving utensils. Your plate, your presentation always makes the meal taste better when it looks good and when it's nice and hot. Okay, and here we go. This is your barbecue tofu. Enjoy it. We're making a bean curd salad, which is made from bean curd, which is when you heat soy milk, it forms a skin on the top and you lift the skim off. And you can usually find it dry and you rarely find it fresh, but we're going to make it available to you through our website. But it makes a delicious salad. You can also fill it with vegetables and roll it up, but today we're going to make a relatively raw, uncooked bean curd salad. So what you do is you take one of these pouches, you actually take 5 pouches, and you stack them on top of each other, and you cut them into strips, and then you cut them into bite-sized pieces. Then what you want to do is you want to put this into a bowl, depending on the quantity, and pour hot water over your bean curd and let it sit for a moment so it can cook briefly. After that, you end up with a bowl like this, full of 4 cups of bean curd, chopped bean curd. Okay? You're going to want to add a tablespoon of basil, dried basil. You're going to add 2 tablespoons of garlic, granulated garlic, half a teaspoon of onion powder, a teaspoon of curry powder, 2 tablespoons of Bragg's liquid amino acids, and a tablespoon of hot sesame seed oil, and lastly a 1/4 cup of olive oil. Pour it all in together, and then you stir. You can smell that sesame oil. It's delicious. Now you can also add other things if you'd like. Options are black olives, sliced black olives, or green olives, or steamed veggies. But this is a delicious salad all by itself. And this is your final dish of bean curd salad with a little garnish of cilantro on top. Now you can also add more curry. You can make it spicier with cayenne pepper. You can also add some steamed veggies to it if you'd like. But it really is a very good dinner or lunch meal. Welcome, welcome. We are making, in this segment, we're making black-eyed peas and brown rice. We're going to start with, and we're going to just pour everything right into our pan. Now, I use a pressure cooker. A pressure cooker is something that high pressure will cook your beans quicker and make the flavor more intense. However, today, because most people don't have pressure cookers, I'm going to use a traditional pan. So we start with 2 cups of clean black-eyed peas right into the pan. And then we go 1 cup of finely chopped onion into the pan, and a half a cup of chopped green pepper right into the pan, half a cup of chopped celery, another spice that I like to use. This is vegetarian chicken broth. Gives a good flavor and texture. Put that right in there. And always 3 tablespoons of chopped garlic. More to taste if you like it. Half a teaspoon of sea salt. This is a bay leaf. 1 bay leaf always in your beans, adds a lot of flavor. And this is a teaspoon of Creole seasoning. Everything goes right into your pot, and then 8 cups of water. And generally you want to put enough water to cover your beans by about 1 inch. So we're going to fill this up, and then what we will do is turn our pan on high heat. Okay. Cover. So we're going to cook our black-eyed peas for approximately 2 hours or until they're soft to the touch, or 30 minutes in our pressure cooker. In general, that's the recipe for whatever type of bean you're going to cook, whether it's black-eyed peas, kidney beans, lima beans, pinto beans, with a variation in the flavor, but in general, you cook beans with the same basic recipe. And this is our final dish, black-eyed peas, with a little bit of garnish. You can use parsley, or I always like using little pieces of chopped up scallions on top. And be creative. You can put avocado, you can put other seasonings, and create it to your taste. Enjoy. We are making a carrot supreme salad, which is a customer favorite, made from the pulp from carrot juice, which I'm going to enjoy during this session. Carrot juice it's excellent for your eyesight, as we all know, and this is the pulp or the fiber from the carrot. What we're going to do is we're going to mix everything together. This is like a mock tuna fish, a non-meat, non-fish tuna fish. So that was 4 cups of the pulp, of carrot pulp. I'm going to put 3/4 of a cup of nutritional yeast, 1/2 cup of chopped celery, 1/2 cup of chopped onion, a tablespoon of agave cactus syrup, a teaspoon of veg salt. I'm going to put a 1/4 cup of olive oil, a 1/2 cup of sweet pickle relish, and we're going to put a little bit of the carrot juice. I think this is about 1/2 cup. And 3/4 cup of veganese, which is a soy, non-dairy mayonnaise. And then we're just going to mix this all up together. Mix it together. People love this. It's an excellent way of getting your live nutrients. Okay. There we go. And this is our final dish of carrot supreme. We're going to garnish with a little bit of sliced scallions on top to make it look beautiful, the color contrast. And this is a dish that you can eat with celery sticks. You can eat it with crackers. You can eat it on toast. You can eat it for dinner. You can eat it for lunch. You can eat it as part of a salad dish. And it's an excellent source of vitamins and nutrients. Enjoy. We're making a delicious cheesy potato dish. We have our casserole dish here. And what we're going to do is we're taking potatoes that have been cooked al dente and sliced, a little bit more than 1/4 inch each, and we're going to place them in the pan. And we're going to layer this. 1 layer of potato and a little bit of soy cheese. Oops. Okay. I'm just going to put it on here, and then another layer. Very nice dish. People that like potatoes and cheese, you get the same flavor without the lactose. And again, another layer of cheese. This is a cup of soy cheese that we're using, and approximately 1.5 pounds of red potatoes. Again, cooked al dente, which means they're cooked so they're slightly hard because you're going to cook them in the oven. And then what we're going to put on top is a little bit of veg salt, a teaspoon, and then we're putting a teaspoon of chopped parsley. Put that on top here. And then a teaspoon of paprika. Again, make it look very pretty. So we got a nice colorful dish here. And we're going to put this into the oven and cook for approximately 15 minutes at 350 degrees till there's a nice brown coating on top. And we have our delicious final cheesy potato dish. Enjoy. And we are making a coleslaw using 2 cups shredded cabbage, organic cabbage. And you want to shred it pretty finely. You can use a grater or you can use your knife and just slice the cabbage very thinly. And it's the same with the purple cabbage. 1 cup purple cabbage. And again, look at the beautiful colors that you create. And a 1/2 cup carrot. And then we're going to add 2 tablespoons ume plum vinegar, which is made from the ume plum, which is a wonderful antioxidant. And 1 tablespoon grated onion. And a 1/2 cup of veganese. Okay? And then we're just going to mix this all together. Get these beautiful colors combined. And if you don't have ume plum vinegar, which you can find at your health food store, you can use apple cider vinegar, which is always very good for you. Or you can even use a little bit of white vinegar. And this is our final dish of traditional coleslaw with a little untraditional twist with the ume plum vinegar. Enjoy. We're going to make a very simple, quick and easy date dessert. Children love it. Very simple, and it's very good for you. You take medjool date and you actually take the seed out. So you open it up slightly and you put a dab of organic peanut butter into the date. Okay? Then you dip it slightly in agave cactus syrup. And what you're going to do is then roll it into grated coconut. And then you have a very delicious, it's a little sweet, it's a little salty dessert. And here's our final dish, our healthy, delicious, and nutritious stuffed dates. Now we're making a wonderful dish reminiscent of Jamaica called Jamaican curried goatee. And we have our large pan here, which we're going to turn on to high heat and add 1/4 cup vegetable oil or soy oil. And to that we're going to take 1 large onion that's been sliced thinly, about an eighth of an inch thick, and put that into our pan with the oil. And we're going to saute this until the onion is relatively clear for a moment. And you do this for about 3 minutes. Then what you do is you add your 3 cups of vegan mutton or goat made from soy. Again, you're going to brown this slightly. Then what you do is you add your curry powder. 3 tablespoons curry powder, Jamaican curry powder if you find it. And again, stir that in. Then what we're going to do is just add some vegetables and some fresh seasoning. We have 3 rough cut carrots, put in there. 3 stalks of celery chopped, put that in there. We have some lovely fresh thyme. Just going to put the whole twig right in there. And then we have 6 cloves of chopped garlic. I'm going to put that in there. All the time, continuously stirring so it doesn't stick to the bottom of your pan. And we're going to add a pinch of allspice. Teaspoon of sea salt. 1/4 cup of red wine. And 1/4 cup of tomato ketchup. We have that all in there. And we stir again. And then what we're going to do is we're going to add just enough water so that when this cooks and reduces, your onions will turn into broth and it'll create a lovely stew. So we'll add about 2 cups of water. And the last ingredient we put in is our 2 cups of chopped potatoes. Rough cut, large, nice big pieces. Stir it in. And we let this cook for approximately 30 to 40 minutes until it reduces down and your potatoes and your carrots are soft. And this is our final dish, our lovely, authentic West Indian Jamaican curry goatee. We are making a cooked kale side dish made from organic kale. And I just want to show you quickly. You take your kale, which have had the stems cut off, and you chop nice bite-sized pieces, okay? And you do that to about 7 bunches. And what we're going to do is put our 7 chopped bunches into a pan, nice large pan, okay? We are going to put in a 1/4 cup of vegetable oil. We will put in 1 medium chopped onion, rough cut chop. We'll put in tomatoes. We will put in 1/2 cup of nutritional yeast. We will put in 1/4 cup of granulated onion powder and 4 chopped up fresh garlic. We will put in just a little bit of water, probably about 3/4 of a cup to a cup. And then we're going to turn our pan on, turn it up to high. And what happens is we put our top on and the kale creates its own juice, its own liquid. And it creates this delicious broth, which a lot of people drink. And what we're going to do is stir this up gently and allow this to create a nice broth by covering the pan on a high heat. And once you gotta check this periodically. Once you see a little bit of liquid has accumulated, you want to turn your pan down so that the greens cook slowly and the flavor is cooked through. And after approximately 30 minutes of simmering, you have a nice final product of kale greens. You want to garnish with a beautiful red pepper. Also, you always want to salt to taste. We don't cook with salt because it can overdo your food, but you want to salt it to taste, and then you end up with a beautiful final dish of kale greens. We are making a live or raw kale salad. We took 4 bunches of raw kale and chopped it very finely into small bite-sized pieces. We're going to add 1/2 cup of chopped red pepper. We're going to add purple onion, 1/4 cup of purple onion. And look at this beautiful color combination we've got going here. And we're going to add 1/2 cup of corn kernels. For those of you who eat corn, some people do not eat corn, and in that case you want to omit that. That's an optional ingredient. And then we're going to stir this with our little hands here, our little salad hands. And kale, just FYI, we'll have more information on our website, but kale is an extraordinary superfood. It contains all of the minerals and nutrients that are required in your diet, and it's an exceptionally tasting food. So a lot of dishes, whether it's soup or salads, I will put in raw kale with the other ingredients. Okay, and we have a lovely multicolored salad. And now we're going to make a balsamic vinaigrette to go with our kale salad. It can also be used for other salads as well. We're going to start with 2 cups of organic, extra virgin, cold pressed olive oil. We're going to add 1 cup of Bragg's liquid amino acid. That's a soy liquid. You can use soy sauce as an alternative. Then we're going to use a cup of balsamic vinegar. We're going to add 10 cloves of garlic, fresh garlic, and 1/2 cup of agave cactus syrup, which is a sugar substitute. It's actually much better than sugar. Diabetics can use it. It can be used in baking, in your raw foods. It's an organic product, and it's found primarily at health food stores. So you might not find it at your local grocery store, but it's a very good sugar and honey substitute. So we put all these things into our Vitamix blender, and again, start low, and then we're going to turn it to a high speed and blend it for about a minute. It turns a lovely brown color. And then I would use your judgment, but probably put about a half of a cup of salad dressing on top of your kale salad. And then we'll toss before you serve so it doesn't get soggy. Toss it slightly. And then you have a lovely, nutritious and delicious kale salad. There we go. We are making lemon bars, and this is a delicious raw alternative to cooked lemon bars, which have a lot of dairy and eggs, etc. in them. So we're going to start with, again, putting everything in our food processor. And we have 1 cup shredded coconut. We have 1 cup of raw cashews. We have 2/3 of a cup of raw dates. We have 2/3 of a cup raw walnuts. We have 1/3 cup of lemon zest from, of course, an organic lemon, since that is the skin, it's on the outside. It's what would get the most pesticides, so we use raw organic lemon. This is 1/3 a cup of agave cactus syrup. And we have 1/3 of a cup of organic lemon juice. And we're going to take all of this and just put it in our food processor. Pulse until everything's mixed. We've got cashews and walnuts, which are relatively soft nuts, so it shouldn't require a lot of mixing. A little bit more. And now that our ingredients are completely mixed, we're going to take approximately 2 tablespoons, and we're going to make with our hands a little square. This is for a nice serving size for dessert or for a snack, or if you have some type of function where you really want to impress your guests with a nice raw dessert. And then we have a nice lemon square. And this is our final version of the lemon square raw dessert with a beautiful slice of fresh lemon garnish on top, making a beautiful dessert. We're making a family favorite, macaroni and cheese, and we're going to start with 4 cups of elbow macaroni, enough to fit into this pan. Okay. Then we're going to add a half a cup of melted soy margarine. This is another favorite of our Soul Veg clients, particularly those that can't eat cheese, that are lactose intolerant. So this is a complete soy cheese, which I'll show you to make in a moment. And then we're going to add a tablespoon of veg salt. Wow. We add 2 tablespoons of paprika, a tablespoon of nutritional yeast. We're going to put in spike, which is a great seasoning. It's about 2 tablespoons of spike, 2 tablespoons of garlic, and 2 tablespoons of yellow mustard. Okay, and we're going to stir this together while we prepare to make our soy cheese. Now we're going to make the soy cheese that goes on top of the macaroni. This is another favorite. It can be used for any dishes that you would use cow's milk cheese for. We're going to start with 2 cups of soy milk, and we're going to add a half a cup to 3/4 of a cup of, again, nutritional yeast. Gives it a cheesy flavor. 7 cloves of garlic, fresh garlic. A tablespoon of lemon juice, fresh lemon juice. And again, a teaspoon of paprika and a teaspoon of veg salt. Put this all in the blender, Vitamix. Start low and gradually increase the speed to high. Then we're gradually going to put oil in until the center hole closes up. That's it. Okay, now we take this. It ends up being about 3 cups of soy cheese. We're going to pour about 1.5 cups onto the mac and cheese so that it's nice and cheesy. After you do this, you're going to stir it again. Okay? You want to put your cheese away. You can use it for other dishes that we're going to share with you. Stir this and put it in the oven for approximately 20 minutes at 350, and you have a lovely dinner dish that the children will absolutely adore. And this is our final dish with a little bit of sprinkled scallions, chopped scallions on top. And speaking of oil, this dish has a bit of vegetable oil in it. It's soybean oil. And we're going to share with you in another recipe a cheese made without oil, made from raw nuts. So this is the traditional style mac and cheese for the family. Enjoy it. We are making a pineapple smoothie, which is a pineapple shake, using 1 cup of organic soy milk, plain soy milk. This is 1/2 cup of light coconut milk. This is 1/2 cup of chopped pineapple. If you want to, you can freeze your pineapple chunks, making it even a cold instead of using ice. But this was unfrozen, so I'm going to use a little bit, about 1/2 cup of ice cubes with this. 2 tablespoons of agave cactus syrup, just to sweeten it a little bit. And 1/2 cup of orange juice to give it a nice little tang. And we're going to put it all in our blender. Again, start slow. And then we're going to quickly turn it up for a minute. And then we're going to pour it into our lovely serving cup. And we're going to garnish with a chunk of pineapple. Here we go. Cheers. We are making potato salad, a picnic favorite, a summertime favorite, and we are using red potatoes, which are the best potato to use, and we've chopped them into small cubes with the skin on. Using the skin gives you all the vitamins, all the nutrients. However, if for aesthetics or for taste, you don't like the skin, you can peel the skin off and then cut the potatoes while they're still hot. So we're putting in 3 cups chopped potato, and then we're putting in 3 tablespoons red pepper, 2 tablespoons sweet pickle relish, 2 tablespoons chopped or minced, finely minced onion, 4 tablespoons of veganese, 1 tablespoon of yellow mustard, 1.5 tablespoons of garlic powder, and 1 teaspoon of sea salt, which, as you know, you salt to taste not going too heavy on the salt. And then we take all of this and we mix it up. And again, some people may like olives. Some people might like spicy food. Some people might want more veganese or more mustard or vinegar. And you can use your own creativity to create this dish to reflect your personality and your tastes. And we're going to take our potato salad, put it in a small bowl, and garnish, again, with a little bit of scallions. It's always good. And here we have a lovely bowl of potato salad, no eggs, no mayonnaise, with all the flavor. Okay, we're about to make a delicious dish, one that will really please your guests if you have a dinner party. This is called garlicky potatoes stuffed in a portobello mushroom. So what we're going to do first is we're going to start with our garlicky potatoes, since they take a little bit longer. Then we're going to broil our mushroom slightly. Then we're going to stuff it with the potato, and then we're going to put it back in the oven for a moment. So let's start very, very carefully. We're going to start with our red pepper oil. This is 1/3 cup red pepper oil. We put it into our pan. Now we're going to turn our pan up to high, nice high heat. Then we're going to put all of our other ingredients in. We have 10 garlic cloves that are sliced in the middle. Put those in, fresh garlic. Then we have a tablespoon of basil. We're going to add dried basil. We have a tablespoon of Creole salt, Creole seasoning. Then we have red peppers. This is 1/3 cup roasted bell pepper, already cooked. We have 2 full scallions or green onions, sliced. Put that in there. See how it's all cooking very nicely. Okay. Then we have a 1/2 cup of margarine, soy margarine. Or maybe a little bit less than 1/2 cup. Okay. And we put this all together and we stir it. And we let this cook down and reduce. Get all the liquid out of it. And cook it for about 10 minutes until your garlic is soft. Okay, and our garlic is nice and soft and brown and our liquid is reducing. So we're going to add our 4 cups of quartered red potatoes. And you want to put that into your mixture. And then you want to, they're cooked al dente, which is slightly cooked. And let these just absorb the seasoning. You'll cook this for about 10 more minutes. And you'll break up your potatoes as you're cooking them as they get softer. And you notice the skin is on these potatoes because that's where all your nutrients are. A lot of people have questions about white potatoes and they consider them not a good health food, but they are an excellent food for you. As long as they're not cooked improperly, red potatoes are the best, and keeping the skin on is excellent. But potatoes are very good for you, so don't get concerned when you're eating red potatoes. And so we've had this covered and we've been cooking this for about 15 minutes and it's reduced, and we've chopped up our potatoes and it looks lovely with all the different colors, and it's almost ready to put into our mushroom. So we have our portobello mushroom, and I want to show you how to create a mushroom that ends up looking like this before we cook it. We have to thoroughly clean the mushroom, the wedges in here, and then what I do is I take the skin off of the mushrooms because of the dirt that most mushrooms grow in. And it really creates a nice outer covering that absorbs your spices very nicely also. So we end up with something like this, and we put our mushroom into a Pyrex dish, into which we're going to put a tablespoon of tamari soy sauce, or you can use regular soy sauce, and a teaspoon of granulated garlic. And we're going to put all of our portobellos, we're going to do the same thing and put them in our casserole dish. and then into the oven, probably about 15-20 minutes at 350. And coming out of the oven, we have our final broiled portobello mushrooms. And what we're going to do is take our filling, our potatoes, our garlicky potatoes, and scoop them and mound them on top of each portobello. Look how lovely that looks. And on each one, you can always fix that. It's excellent. And this is our final dish, portobello mushrooms with garlicky potatoes. And this can go into the oven, uncovered, to keep warm, and it will stay fresh and delicious. Enjoy. And now we're making raw nut meat chili made from Brazil nuts, which are very high in selenium, a very important nutrient, one of the few foods found with selenium. So we're starting with, we're going to just put everything into the food processor. Now, if by chance you don't have a food processor, what you can do is put your nuts into a plastic bag, and with a pan or a hammer or something very heavy, crush your nuts using a plastic bag. But anyway, because we have a food processor, 2 cups of Brazil nuts, 3/4 of a cup of fresh tomato salsa, 2 scallions cut in pieces, just put them in there, 2 small tomatoes quartered, and then we have 2 tablespoons of chili powder, a tablespoon of cumin, ground cumin seed, 2 fresh cloves of garlic, and a teaspoon of sea salt. And then we're just gonna put that all in there, lock it, and we're gonna pulse so it doesn't turn into butter, nut butter. And this is our final dish, a raw nut meat chili made from the very healthy, full of nutrient Brazil nuts, garnished with cilantro, and you can serve it with tortillas. You can serve it with raw vegetables. You can serve it a little bit thinner as a dip for appetizers for parties. Children love this, put into a tortilla and rolled up like a burrito with some veggies sauteed inside of the burrito. So it's really a very versatile and nutritional dish. Because it's raw, and that's why it's very important that you use the raw salsa, it is full of nutrients and enzymes. Everything is live. So it has exceptional health benefits. Enjoy it. We are making a live salad, a raw salad of many different vegetables. You can be very creative when you're making this, and it's always a favorite. And really, you should try to have a live salad with your dinner and your lunch every day. So what we're going to do right now is just put everything into a salad bowl, a large bowl. And we have here a combination of romaine lettuce, chopped, mixed green lettuce, and kale, which is, as I said before, a wonderful superfood. And we just put all these lettuces into our bamboo bowl. We're going to add red cabbage. This is, again, excellent with respect to nutrients, but it also prevents your lettuce from wilting. So if you have extra salad, you can put this purple cabbage in it, and it will prevent your lettuce from wilting. We're going to also add a half of a red pepper. We're going to add a thin sliced purple onion, a half of an onion. We're going to add fennel, very delicious addition to make your salad, give it a little bit of flavor. We're going to add a sliced cucumber. We are going to add another interesting addition, some very finely sliced mint, fresh mint. And we are going to add, for those of you who like mushrooms, because you don't have to, we're going to add mushrooms. We're going to add tomatoes, and I usually like to put these on top of the salad individually because it will make your salad watery if you put it in right away. So we're going to save that for the individual dish. And then we're going to add an abundance of bean sprouts. They come in many different varieties. This is alfalfa sprouts. There are mung sprouts, there are radish sprouts, there are onion sprouts. All of them are excellent for you, a tremendous source of protein, and all of them very good. So we're going to add a nice amount of alfalfa sprouts to our salad on top. And this is actually our finished product. Now we're going to serve it, we're going to toss it and serve it, but you can actually put this on your table as a centerpiece or for your guests and have them serve themselves. But this is our beautiful live salad. You can also toss your salad and have it all prepared for your guests. Get everything nicely mixed. And we have our delicious balsamic vinaigrette that is also on our website. We've used it on our kale salad previously, and it can be a delicious topping for a live salad. We are making a delicious red beans and rice, which is a perfect protein. And we're going to make this very authentic and very flavorful by using a vegan ham. And we have to come up with some other terminology, but this is a vegan ham. And it comes in a round tube. And what we're doing first is we're dicing about a half a cup. And we'll take the circle and we just cut it into slices, to strips, and then cubes. So we'll put approximately a tablespoon and a half of oil in our saute or fry pan. Turn this up to high heat. Okay. And we'll put our vegan ham into the pan to brown it slightly. And this will become the first ingredient that we put into our soup pan. There we go. And we're just going to brown this on high heat. Okay, so we're sauteing. It's turning nice and brown. You'll see little pieces are sticking to your pan. But what you want to do is after this is nice and brown, you want to use a little bit of water to get the pieces unstuck from the bottom of the pan. Okay? Now our chopped veggie ham is completely browned. And we're going to put this into the pan in which we're going to cook our red beans. And we've got 2 cups of red beans, kidney beans. Then we have 1 cup chopped yellow onion. And we have ½ cup chopped garlic. We have ½ cup chopped green pepper. We have ½ cup of chopped celery. And we have our bay leaf for our beans and a teaspoon of salt. And we'll just put a little bit in. We'll season it to taste when we get finished. And then we're going to add about 8 cups of water. And again, we got to make sure we cover our beans and our vegetables by at least 1 inch of water. So you got to make sure you have the right size pan also. Okay? And this is ready. We're going to put the top on. Now again, this is a traditional pot, but you can also cook in a pressure cooker, which will cook faster and will make your beans more flavorful and softer. And we'll put our pan, again, we're going to start on a high heat. Then we will, once it boils slightly, we'll turn it down and we'll continue to monitor probably for about 1.5 hours until the beans are soft. And this is our final red beans and rice, the perfect protein with the lovely pieces of vegan ham and the delicious Creole seasoning. In this segment, we're making steamed brown rice, a staple for a lot of dishes with veggies, and when combined with beans, it makes a complete protein. So this is a very important dish. We have 2 cups brown rice, organic preferably, and for every cup of rice, you use 2 cups of water. The recipe is always 2 to 1. So we're going to put 4 cups of water to our 2 cups of brown rice. Pour it all in the pan. And then what we're going to do with the top off, we're going to turn our pan up to high. Let this come to a rolling boil. A rolling boil is when it's at a very high heat and it's rolling. The water looks like it's rolling. Once that's completed, it's boiling. You turn your pan down and you cover it Turn your pan down slightly until your steamed rice is completed. Now, brown rice is very versatile. You can use it for dinner with vegetables, with beans. You can also have it for lunch, of course, stir-fried with a little seasoning. Or you can even have this for breakfast. You can have it with some soy milk, with a little cinnamon, with fruit cut over it. It's a very versatile dish. So when you make brown rice, I tend to make a relatively large quantity so it can be used for different meals. Enjoy it. We are making scrambled tofu. This is a dish that you can eat for breakfast, which a lot of people do, but you can also eat it for lunch. You can put it on a sandwich, and some people even spice it up with vegetables and a little bit of curry for dinner. So we're going to start with our pan, and we're going to turn it up on a high heat, as we always do. And we're going to put a 1/4 cup of soy margarine into the pan. Okay, let that melt a little bit. And then we're going to put our two tablespoons of red pepper, diced red pepper, our 2 tablespoons of diced onion, our 3 tablespoons of fresh garlic, 2 to 3 depending on how much you like garlic. And we're going to let this saute for a moment till your onions are clear, translucent. Then what we're going to do is we're going to put 2 cups, this is actually about a 14-ounce block of firm tofu, crumbled. You just take the block with your hands and just crumble it into pieces. And we're going to add that to our vegetable mixture. And we're going to let this cook in a little bit. And then we're going to see something transform. A lot of people eat this instead of eggs, scrambled eggs. So this is a very nice substitute. Plus, we're going to make it look like scrambled eggs with a 1/2 teaspoon of turmeric, which is a yellow, relatively flavorless spice. But it gives your scrambled tofu a very nice yellow color. And then we're going to add our nutritional yeast. This is 2 tablespoons nutritional yeast. Give it that flavor. We're adding 1/2 teaspoon of dried basil. You'll see how beautiful these colors combine. And keep cooking. And at the end, what you're going to do is you're going to add 2 tablespoons of tamari sauce, which is similar to soy sauce. So you saute everything, then you want to turn your pan down slightly and let it cook for about 5 minutes uncovered. And this is our final dish, scrambled tofu, a little garnish to make it beautiful, on a beautiful blue plate. And again, this is no cholesterol, no trans fat. Lovely breakfast dish.